Okay, let's look at some questions that are similar to the ones from assignment 2, where you have to write the equation of the circle. In this time, they give you the center and the radius, and your objective is to write the equation. Well, when we write the equation, we're going to have x something squared and y something squared equals r squared. So, if our center here is 0, 0, then we don't have any numbers next to our x and y, so it's just going to be x squared plus y squared, and it's going to be equal to r squared. So if the radius is 5, we need to make sure we set that equal to 5 squared, which is 25. So let's look at number 2 then. Our center is 0, 0. So when we have 0, 0, like I said, we're not going to have any numbers next to our x and y. So we'll just have x squared plus y squared equals r squared. So we're going to have our radius this time is square root of 359. We'll need to square that whole thing. So we'll take square root of 359 and we're going to square that number. Let's see what happens when we do that. If I put in the square root of 359 and then I square it, look at that, I just get 359. In mathematics, what happens when you try to square a square root, it essentially just cancels out. So if you have a square root for your radius, then the number that we're going to write on the right-hand side of our equation is just going to be the digits that are there. We're going to get rid of the square root sign. We're going to get rid of the squared. We're just going to have the digits, the 359. So let me write that out again just so it looks nice. X squared plus y squared equals 359. And really, we probably should have done that for the first one too. But you don't have to. Like, I would accept it looking like this. But really, just so it looks nice and we're 100% certain what our answer is, I'm going to write it out again. X squared plus y squared equals 25. It does equal 5 squared, but 5 squared equals 25. Always best to simplify as much as we can in mathematics. Go ahead and box up those answers. All right, so that's what they're going to kind of look like when the center is 0, 0. We won't have any numbers next to x and y, and then the right-hand side will be our radius squared. Let's look at what happens when the center is not 0, 0. For number 3 here, I have my center at 2, 3, and the radius at 6. So I'm going to have a number next to my x and y this time. I'm just going to leave some space. I'm going to go ahead and write it out. X something squared plus y something squared equals r squared, right? So the number next to our x is going to be the number from our center coordinate. But the same way when we had our equation and we identified the center, we flipped it, we do the same thing when we're writing the equation as well. So if the center is positive 2, then when we write our equation, we need to flip that sign. We need to make sure we write negative 2 for our x. Then next to the y, for our center coordinate, our y is 3. So for our equation, we need to do minus 3. Flip those signs. Then the radius squared, set that equal to 6 squared, which is 36. So I'm going to write that out again just so it looks nice. X minus 2 squared plus y minus 3 squared equals 36. That is my answer, fully simplified. Let's look at number 4 here. Again, I'm going to go start by just kind of writing it out. I'm going to have x something squared plus y something squared equals r squared. The number next to my x is going to be the x coordinate from my center. But I need to flip the sign. My center has x coordinate of negative 10, so the number I'm going to put here is going to be positive 10. For my y coordinate center, I have positive 5. So for my equation y, I'm going to have minus 5. Make sure I flip that sign. Then my radius is 3, so I'm going to set that equal to 3 squared, which is 9. I'm going to rewrite that down here. X plus 10 squared plus y minus 5 squared equals 9. Now let's look at some where they give you the graph. Well, essentially I'm going to have about the same kind of steps starting off. But I need to look at the graph, okay? Let's identify the center on this graph. The center point is right here in the middle of the circle. They didn't tell me what it was, but I can look at that graph and I can tell for myself. The x-coordinate is negative 1, 2, 3, negative 3, and the y-coordinate is 1, 2, 2. So I'm going to write that down here. Center is negative 3, 2. Well, what's my radius? Well, the radius is the distance from the center to the edge of the circle. So from here to here, I go 1, 2. From here to here, I go 1, 2. From here to this point, I go 1, 2. So my radius is going to be 2. Well, look, now I have the same information that I started with, like these problems. I know my center and I know my radius. I can write my equation using that. X something squared plus y something squared equals r squared. The number next to my x is going to be the opposite of this one. So it'll be plus 3. The number next to my y will be the opposite of this one. So it'll be minus 2. I'm going to set that equal to r squared. If r is 2, then I'm going to put it to 2 squared, which is 4. So x plus 3 squared plus y minus 2 squared equals 4. One more looking at the graph. This one here. Where is my center? Well, that one pretty much looks like it's right here, right at the center. I'm going to center on this one is going to be at 0, 0. What's my radius? Looking at this graph, the radius is the distance from the center to any point on the edge of the circle. So if I start at my center and I go this way, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. If I start at my center and go down, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 that way and 4 that way. So my radius is 4. When I write this equation, my center was 0, 0. I don't have any numbers next to my x and y. So I'm going to have x squared plus y squared equals r squared. Well, if r is 4, 4 squared is 16. So simplify that down here. X squared plus y squared equals 16.